Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Built for the Stage. This is Joe Roscoe, founder and host of Built for the Stage, Broadway's #1 fitness platform. If you haven't tried out Built for the Stage yet, go to builtforthestage.com and we can work together one-on-one using an interactive fitness app where it's my aspiration to help you marry your pursuit in a career in the theater industry with the pursuit of a journey in fitness. So check us out builtforthestage.com or at builtforthestage on the Instagram. All right, special guest as always, calling in from the UK. I just got back from my London trip about a week or so ago, and I was fortunate enough on my second night there to see Frozen. I saw it on the B-Way a couple of years ago. It seems like a lifetime ago with a couple of clients of mine. But yeah, I was like refreshed with this cute, amazing story that I kind of forgot about because again, I think it was 2017 or 18 when I last saw it. But anyways, the cast is fire. They're super talented, and our guest is a big reason why. They're currently serving as the dance captain in Frozen right now. So let's just bring her on. Enough of me talking. We'll get to getting to know our guest. So please welcome to the podcast, Anna Woodside.
Hey!
Thanks so much for joining me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's your day off. Any big
Mhm.
plans coming up for your day off today?
Well, I've kind of done my big plans. I went for brunch with a friend today, which was lovely. So the rest of the day we'll be talking to you and then working, prepping for the show tomorrow.
Okay, fabulous.
Yeah.
All right, brunch. What do we have? Make me jealous. Anything?
Okay, so what did I have today? So we actually had a butty. Do you guys know what a butty is?
No, but I'm glad I get to learn. Let's educate our guests here.
So a butty is a kind of a. Do you know what a bap is? It's like a bread roll,
Okay. I'm with you.
filled with breakfast things, and I had vegan sausage and egg because I'm not fully vegan. I'm not like a full vegan. So yeah, egg and sausage bap. Butty, egg and sausage butty.
Well, how do you spell it, buddy?
Butty.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. We have like similar things where like a bread bowl. I think normally it would be like a soup bread bowl, maybe,
Mm,
but this sounds great. I
yes.
love bread. I love breakfast things. So I'm gonna
It's, it's all the wrong things, but it's all the things that you want to have on your day off. So
listen. Moderation is key. Moderation
exactly.
is key.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so love the show again.
Great.
I really loved. I love Frozen because it has that like a little bit of something for everyone.
Sure does.
There were even some jokes where I was like, that was a little risque. And I was assuming the writers are like, hey, that's going to fly right over the kids' heads. No big deal there. But I kind of forgot about that when I had seen it on Broadway. I also enjoyed watching some of the fathers of the kids that were around me that you wouldn't think they would be bobbing their heads and rocking back and forth to
Yeah.
these songs having a good old time, but that was also a joy to see. I'm sure that they knew all the words by heart since their kids probably make them listen to the songs over and over and over again.
Like probably 20 times a week, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's surprising, isn't it? I think that's the surprise about it. A lot of parents aren't so keen, thinking, oh God, we're going to have to sit through like a live version of this thing, having seen it 20 times a week in our living rooms. But I think a lot of people are surprised with how much it has to offer every age range.
Yeah.
From 6 to 86, I would say.
Yeah.
There's something for everyone, definitely.
Absolutely. Let's back up. Let's get to know you
Yeah.
before jumping, right into Frozen. We can touch on it a little bit later, but
Sure.
um, you grew up, boom, instantly. You were dancing. You wanted to be a performer, or like, how did this all? When did you fall?
So I wouldn't say instantly. No, I mean, I started ballet when I was about 5, I think, and all I ever did was ballet for 10 years or something, and then I discovered other genres of dance and started to love that too. And then it wasn't until I joined like a kids theatre group that my real love for it came. And I guess I was about 14 or 15 then, and I just didn't ever want to do anything else. I just never wanted to leave. I think it was like 2 hours on a Friday night after school, and I just wanted to be there all the time, never wanted it to end. And we used to, you know, we put on all the shows, the amateur shows, and that was, I just knew that was where my heart belonged. I didn't ever want to do anything else. And I think when I found my voice, because I had only ever danced, so this is the first time that I'd sung, and I was like, oh, I think I could sing as well. Well, no, it took a bit of training, but you know, when you realize that you've got other talents aside from ballet technique, it just becomes a little bit more exciting. And yeah, that was when I knew.
Was your transition from ballet to musical theater from a show you saw or a movie or a person in your life? When did you start to think about the singing and kind of transitioning, not just dancing?
Well, I think it was a friend of mine that didn't dance so much. She was part of a group called the National Youth Music Theatre, which is very big here. And I became really interested in what's all this about? You know, what do you do there? And she said what she did. And then she told me that there's this other company she goes to on a Friday, which is when I joined. So it was a friend of mine at school that used to tell me all these tales about what they used to get up to at the National Youth Music Theatre, and how they, you know, kids from around the country used to join. And yeah, you had to audition to get in, so it was really prestigious. I never did that, but I did do the kids theatre club on the Friday. So as soon as I got a taste of it for myself, it wasn't so much watching something, it was doing it. That's what made me go, oh, I love this, I can't do it, I don't want to do anything else now. Yeah.
And growing up, was your family supportive of this, like a pursuit in the arts as like an actual career?
Well, my parents have nothing to do with the industry. I'm the first one in my family to ever do this. So for them, it was just more of a hobby. And actually, we did go and see shows. We did. They took me to the ballet a lot. And the first show I ever saw was Cats. And I do remember there was one cat in particular that I just fell in love with on that stage and always wanted to play that part. So there was something about that show that made me go, oh, I really want to do this.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was that. And I think my family just kind of went along with it. And then it wasn't until I started auditioning for theatre schools that they realized that there was something in this, because they didn't have anything to compare it with. They didn't know what standard people were, or what, you know, how good you had to be, or to be able to get into these colleges. So I auditioned for 3 colleges, and I think because I got into all 3 of them, they were literally like, oh, maybe she's not bluffing here. Maybe this is something that we need to pursue with her. And I think the fact that, you know, I got in and I got a scholarship at one of the colleges, they just flew with it. They went with it. And I didn't want to do anything else. I was showing no interest for anything else. Yeah. So they said, well, I think maybe we need to support her with this. So that's kind of how that happened. Yeah. And yeah.
You're a mom as well, yes?
That's right. Yes, I am. I have a 14-year-old daughter. Yes.
Okay. And are you any interest from her in the arts, or she has other interests of her own, or how's that going at your household?
Her only interest is theatre. And yeah, she loves it. Or acting. She's a beautiful little actress. She's just started at a school in London called the Brit School. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. And she is just blossoming in her personality, in everything since being there. Everything has just changed for her. And because of course I was a little apprehensive, knowing how the business can be, knowing how tough it is, knowing, you know, no has to be your favorite word. Knockbacks, you can't let knockbacks get to you. And you know, she's sensitive, and I did worry that, you know, maybe do I really want to put my child through this? But again, she auditioned for the school, she got in. She's always put her heart and soul into anything to do with acting and theatre. And like she goes to a local theatre school down the road as well, and she's always just loved it so much. I always said, if she comes out of a class smiling, then she can carry on doing it. If she comes out and is just like, I don't want to do that anymore, then I'm not paying for it, you know.
Right.
No. So, you know, and actually we started her with ballet when she was really young, and she loved it at first. And then I reckon a couple of years later, the teacher changed. She just wasn't feeling it anymore. And I was like, fine, we're finishing. That's it. So she, you know, she kind of stopped dancing, but then she found another route, and she liked the theatre side of it, the acting and the singing.
Yeah.
So she's doing that every day in school now. Yeah.
I know a parent-child relationship could be difficult with you giving advice. Is she receptive to your experience and you saying, "Hey, you know, da 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 da"?
We've been through a lot of phases with this. So, you know, I used to actually be the ballet teacher at her local theatre school, and she was great in school. But then I used to come back here, and she just, yeah, not so interested in me talking to her about it at home. So I do just tend to leave her to it, and just I don't want to be her teacher. I just want to be. It's great if she, you know, she can maybe look up to me, and maybe I can be a little bit of a mentor, but I certainly do not want to be her teacher.
Yeah.
You know, I want to keep the mother-daughter relationship. Yeah. Yeah.
You'll have to invite a few cast members over to the house and strategically bring up conversations of, you know, them asking, "Oh, how's acting going?" and you're performing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then maybe you could, you know, give them the shoulder to say, "Hey, could you say this to her?"
Yeah. Oh, believe me, I've asked a lot of friends to, can you just get in there for me? You know, find out what's going on here, and you know, does she like me?
Oh, wow. So
Teenagers.
How how do you so she's 14, so how have you balanced your career and being a mom and yeah, just life is kind of tough as it is solo and doing a career in the arts. How's it been being a mom? And I know that clients of mine and listeners, we have a good bit of moms out there. So this would be super, you know,
Yeah.
helpful and insightful for you sharing your experience.
I think, okay, so it's not easy. It's definitely not easy, especially when they're young. Um, but I think a support network around you is essential. I would not have been able to do it without my parents. My mum has been the biggest support network ever since I was little, but ever since I had my daughter, she's been there, and she's done so much childcare for us, and because she knows how tough it is in this industry as well, and she knows that if there's a job there that I want to do, that she's always said, go and do the job. You know, I'm here if you need me, and I would not have been able to do it without her. And also I have a very supportive husband as well. That really helps.
Yeah.
And he used to be in the industry, but he's not anymore, so he can kind of tailor his work a little bit to fit around my schedule. So
Okay.
you know, it's like a 50-50 pet parenting, which is fun, you know, really great.
That's
That helps.
that's a lovely like mix to have. Like as far as a significant other, I think it's very um I guess the only word is valuable, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for, but
No.
it's something that it's an important asset to have where this business is so specific
Yeah.
for your partner to understand, I think is very important. But
Absolutely.
I think it's cool that he's like ventured on to something else. So you all have kind of that balance in the home. It gets a little tricky when it's just like all arts all the time, you know?
100%. And actually, we're not as we kind of sound like a stagey family, but at home, I tend to try and switch off from all things theatre when I'm at home, because generally I usually only have one day at home. It's hard. I think my daughter and my husband are more stagey than me in a way that they love listening to musicals all the time. They watch musicals on TV, whereas because I'm at work like 6 days a week, and at the moment about 11-12 hours a day, I really try and shut off from it, just to have a bit of a different life sometimes as well.
Yeah.
So but they know that, so when we're all together, we kind of don't talk about theatre too much, and try and, you know, pursue other activities maybe.
Yeah. Well, okay, so what are they? Just to get to know you more, what do you like to do
uh,
off the
well, we love cycling, so we bike ride sometimes. We have a little dog, so we walk him. We find different forests to walk him in, so long walks. we're foodies. We're big foodies. So we like to find different places to eat that interest us. We love our Sunday dinners. I don't know if Sunday roasts are a thing in the States, but they're huge here.
Yeah. If you're in the States, I feel like if you're Italian or maybe like, I guess I'm Italian, so I just speak from that experience, but I do feel like there's certain cultures out there that it is family tradition that Sundays you all eat together, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Now, unfortunately, I work all day Sunday. So sometimes they come and meet me in between shows and we go for a roast somewhere locally in London. Or if we all happen to have a day on Monday, like for instance, right now it's half term. So Eva's off school at the moment. It's my daughter, Eva. So yesterday we were able to find somewhere that was doing a roast on a Monday, which because Monday is like my new Sunday.
Yeah.
Mondays are usually my day off. Today we have a day off as well, but I know it's Tuesday today, but usually it's a Monday.
Yeah, I've noticed. I feel I'll ask in a second your commute, but I feel like everyone that I met in London, you all are spread out a bit more from the theater district than typically what we see on Broadway, where the actors are a bit closer. Do you have like a long commute from your house to the theater?
I don't. It's an overground train, but it's only 20 minutes. It's very quick for me.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not bad. I do know I have friends on Broadway, and if you're not like within a 5-minute walking distance of the theatre, then you've got a big commute,
yeah.
which is crazy because here it's like people travel from Hertfordshire, from Hampshire, from all over the country to come and do 8 shows a week. You know, there's a guy in the show that his commute is something like 2 hours each way.
Right.
It's insane. I think I would struggle with that. And I do like being a bit closer. I'm Southeast London, so it's very easy for me to hop on a train. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good with your family too, because not only your time at work adds up, but the commute time adds up, which inevitably overall is going to take you away from your family. So that's good that you're close.
That's right.
I saw that you were in the States, what, in 2019? I saw a picture of you on the stage at King Kong with Ashley, who
Yes.
had trained with me at one point.
Oh, lovely, Ashley. So I worked with Ashley. Ashley did, it was his first job, I think. We did a show called Never Forget. It's based on Take That music. Do you know Take That in the States?
No.
It's a boy band in the 90s, or maybe
Okay.
yeah. And we did a musical. We were touring for 3 months, and I think it was his first job actually. So yeah, we've kind of stayed in contact on and off since then. And he's just slaying now in the States, isn't he? He's actually having a great time there, and it's just fantastic the way that his career has just taken off. And he's super talented man, and he really deserves everything that comes to him. It's just, yeah, he's done so well.
Oh.
So yeah, but one of my best friends lives in New York, and I go and see her as much as I can, really. So yeah, I love it. I love it there.
I was just scanning through a couple of your credits from Broadway World, and you had traveled a lot. Was it during being a mom or beforehand? Japan, I see, Germany.
Yeah,
you had been around.
Yeah, I have. So my first job was in Germany, so that was before I had Eva. I did a year there, but I did a few months in Japan with Eva. She was just nearly 2, about 1.5, 2, something like that, which was fantastic to be able to take her. You know, it presented challenges, of course, but it was just nice to be able to have her with me. And otherwise, I wouldn't have gone. Otherwise, she was too little to leave to go that far away. But I have traveled a bit. I've done a couple of tours, but not for too long. I think I did like a 3-month tour, but we've always worked it out that I've never gone longer than a week without seeing her wherever I've gone. So she's never been, you know, that long away from me, which is good. Whereas now she'd be fine. She'd probably love it if I was away for a month or so. I'm more needy of her now.
Yeah, I have a niece that's the same age, and I talk to my sister a lot, and what you're saying, it's very much the same. So just that age, you know.
It is. They come back to you, I hear.
They do, yeah. 10 years from now, during college or after college, she'll be calling you every day about how much she misses you. So,
Aw.
you had said you're like, I can't wait. You had said you'd been at the theater for like 10, 12-hour days. I know that there's a new cast changeover that recently happened. Is that the reasoning? Y'all are just kind of rehearsing a bit and still settling into the new cast?
So yeah, we started rehearsals for the new cast in August, and then as soon as they were settled and were into the show, we started rehearsals with the first covers for the first understudies for the leads. So we then did we call that a put in an understudy run, and then once the first covers are done, then we start on the second covers. So at the moment we are in the middle of rehearsing second covers. They have their cover run on Wednesday next week. So after that is when we don't get a break, but we won't be in the theatre as much after that. So yeah, we'll be and it's a good job. I love my job because I'm there all the time. I'm there more than I am at home.
Yeah. So yeah, as the dance captain, have you been a dance captain in the past with other shows?
So I've been an assistant dance captain twice, but I've never been a dance captain. So this is the first time, yeah. And the last time I was an assistant dance captain, that was like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't think I've taken on that role purely because I knew how much it would take me away from my daughter. But now she's a bit older, it's just a lot easier, and she understands a lot more now. So,
yeah. What's one of like the bigger tasks? In my eye, it would be the ensemble is quite large, just the amount of people.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of it, just the spacing alone?
Sorry, say that again. I missed that. It cut out.
Is the size of the cast, the spacing on the stage alone, just one of the bigger things to kind of overcome when you're juggling in that many new people?
Yes, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly right. The spacing is epic. It's huge, and this show is very it has to have symmetry, in a lot of the numbers and the coronation scene. I mean, if you remember the coronation, the spacing for me is I'm so anal about it looking dead right. And often, like last year, obviously with coronavirus, we had a lot of people off. And I had to cut, I think it was a total of about 72 shows I had to cut. And my main thing was that it didn't look like there were any gaps. It looked like, always moving people around to make it look perfect. Right. So yeah, the spacing is a big deal, definitely. So we have to nail that. But I have to say, this year everybody is really on their game, and it's been they've made my life very easy. So
nice. Great. I think I saw actually today on your Instagram stories you on, I think, a stationary bike at the gym.
Yes. So, right, okay, because for the last few months, I haven't been the one dancing on stage. I've been the one telling everyone what to do.
Yeah.
This is where you go. This is where you go. I've been putting the new swings on in favor of me being on stage because I did it all last year, which means that I just haven't had any chance to keep my fitness up. Mm-hmm. So yesterday, because we happened to have yesterday off and today off, I said, right, I need to start making time for my own fitness now. So I went for a little run yesterday, and then today there's a new gym that's just opened around the corner, and I took my girl with me, my daughter, because she's always said that she wants to join the gym and do all that, and she's old enough now to have her own membership. So we tried it out today, and I brought her with me, and it was really fun. It was really fun. So I'm trying to get my fitness back up now.
Yeah. I think people, they overlook with choreographers, dance captains, fitness trainers, when you're facilitating the physical action, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing the physical action as much.
That's right. And people are like, oh, you must be so fit, you're at work all the time. I'm like, but I'm sitting down or I'm just standing there pointing or whatever. But you know all about that because that's what you do as well.
Right. Yeah. For me, I have to do it before I help others, because by the time the day's over and you've kind of given yourself away, if you will, to everyone,
that's right.
It's hard to then get yourself to do it, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. They said, what's the saying? Fit your own mask before others. So yeah, sort yourself out first. Yeah,
Yeah,
I should
yeah.
have taken on that advice earlier, but it's just fitting it into one day, you know. If that means getting up another hour earlier, and I always try and take my daughter to school when I can, so that it's just fitting everything in is so difficult at the moment. So
Mm.
once the next week is over, I'm gonna have way more time to focus on my own fitness. So maybe you can help me.
I I'll be sending you a follow-up thank you email, so we can definitely chat about it for sure. I'd love to.
Great.
So speaking of like, I wish I would have given myself that advice or learned that earlier or on that topic. In the midst of your career and everyone listening that's in the pursuit of theirs, what would you say to yourself in other regards as far as coming up in this career in the arts?
Yeah.
What you've learned and yeah.
What I've learned, and I'm still learning actually, and I'm not ashamed to say this, is never compare yourself to others. You're the only one of you, and you have something that somebody else doesn't have, as they have something that no one else has. You can never ever compare yourself to others. There's such a heightened thing now. So many people suffer with imposter syndrome in this business, and I am a big culprit of that as well.
Yeah.
It's so difficult, and it's so easy to sit there and say, don't just, you can give yourself a talking to, don't compare yourself to others, you're your own entity. But then when you are there in an audition or even on the job, and it's just so difficult to take yourself out of your head and just remember that you are never going to be somebody else, so why not just be the best version of yourself, and don't ever let that hold you back, ever. That's been my biggest bugbear for my whole of my career, definitely.
Yeah, it's tough. Just like you said, you still are learning. We always should still be learning, and we always will know this fact of don't compare, but
Mm.
we, instinctively still will do that from time to time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a great thing to remember is like there's going to be the times where they need the other person, and when you're trying to be the other person, you never quite will be able to be. But there's gonna be a time that they need you, and if
That's
you're
right.
trying to be the other person and not you, then you're gonna miss out on your chance, so,
That's right. That's
um,
exactly right. I
um,
think it's okay to learn from other people.
sure,
If you admire somebody, that's wonderful. Just take, and maybe you can take advice from them, or watch and learn, and take what you think is whatever they're doing right. Maybe you can put it into your process or whatever. That's fine. I think it's good to learn from people like that.
yeah,
But you must never think, oh, the amount of times I've sat in an audition room and been feeling great, and then somebody walks in, and I've gone, oh no, she's here, she's going to get it. You know,
right, right,
so
right,
many times.
yeah,
It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
yeah,
But it's human nature, I suppose, as well.
yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to do it again without that feeling.
Alright, before we wrap up, thanks for your time again on your day
Of
off,
course.
appreciate it. Give us one memory that you hold, like, the dearest or one of your dearest memories of this career, of doing a show or a moment, with friends, not on the stage, but, sometimes it's those moments when you're not performing with the cast that are the most special, but
Yeah.
give us a memory that you have from this time in theater.
Okay. I have a really lovely memory of where I was doing Wizard of Oz at the Palladium, because about 10 years ago now, and I was understudy Glinda. And it was the first show that my daughter had watched me in, and she came to see me play Glinda. And I remember the character's entrance to the stage was from the pros at the very top, and she descended the stage, onto the stage with big silks attached to her sides. So as it came down, I mean, it's just an epic view. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I remember coming down and just seeing my daughter sitting on the front row
Mm.
and just looking up in awe. I think she was kind of confused as to, Mummy's Glinda. And I'll always remember that. That's a really lovely memory for me. Seeing my daughter look at me like that. That was really lovely, and she remembers that too. So yeah.
Oh, it's very
Yeah.
sweet. Okay, Anna, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, and
You're
can't wait
more,
to stay in touch. And
yeah.
thank you again.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely to chat.
My pleasure. All right, everyone. Anna Woodside on Built for the Stage podcast. Make sure you check her out on Instagram at Anna Woodside. Give her a follow and just support the West End Theater if you're here in the States. Yeah, just a little goal of mine to kind of bring us together just a bit more. We all can understand each other. We all speak this language of English. So let's make friends. So give Anna a follow. Anna Woodside, dance captain right now in the cast of Frozen in the West End. Don't forget about that free trial if you want to try it out on builtforthestage.com. We'd be happy to have you. All right, Joe Roscoe here. Until next time, actors are athletes. Train like one. Later.